Hi Anthony.
Hi, Viv.
Let's have this discussion based on the quality management system for ISO. And this structure talks about a lot in terms of hands-on implementation. With respect to, when I say hands-on implementation, it is creating a skeleton or a framework initially for an ISO system. And then you may ask me what is a skeleton.
Yep.
So the skeleton is basically giving the brain, which is the procedure here, and from this procedure you have all the clear-cut SOPs which is built across. That is the
Can
first.
you open one of those? Is what you're saying is one of these is in effect a template or a
Yeah.
baseline to create the standard document in a new business.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you just
Exactly.
open one of those for us and have a quick
Yeah.
look?
Fine. I'll open what you call as calibration, which is simple and enough.
Yep.
Okay. So you have this document here, and what you see in this documentation is the purpose of why calibration needs to be done, the scope of it, and a clear-cut bullet point procedure, and then you have your calibration labels of what you do hands-on in the shop floor.
Yep. So these are images going there. You're saying that's relevant to the exact action on the floor.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So what drives that action is the procedure, what is written here.
Yep.
Okay.
So what size company has this gone into? As you scroll to the top, I noticed that you had a different header from a different company.
Yeah.
What was that company doing as a core business operation? If we're involved heavily with manufacturing-based companies wanting to put an ISO system in.
So this, so
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 yeah.
yeah.
So understanding that I'm seeing this as a template and it's got somebody's header. My question is, what's this? What are these documents being? I'll start that question again. The company that you were creating these documents for,
Yeah.
what were they doing? When I'm primarily talking to manufacturing-based companies.
Yeah, this company is totally building precision components. That is,
Precision components.
yeah, precision
Okay.
components. They are into high-speed stamping and high-speed injection molding, and they have an automation line in them.
How many people were involved in the company? To give me some idea of the actual size of the company that you put this into.
Yeah, the maximum number of people, including the staff, is about 25.
25.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's the size of this company. And when you're asking me, if you're asking me further questions on how tough this implementation was, the implementation is really not that tough. The only pain point in building a QMS system is having a clear-cut procedure.
Right. Okay. So going back to the understanding that we were looking at quite a number of standard operating procedures here. I'm just curious if is it all right if I take the control here for a moment? How, to me, it looks like it's a very big process
Yeah,
of a lot of documents to go in.
yeah,
My brief understanding of an ISO system is that you would have a system associated to a process within the business.
yeah,
That's correct, yeah?
yeah, exactly correct.
So with a company of 25 employees,
Yeah,
and based on tool making and dies and injection molding processes,
yeah.
you would how can
How
I,
would you how do you drive this in the shop floor?
how would you create
Yeah,
so many documents
yeah,
associated to so many processes,
yeah,
and for the time that you were in Singapore doing this project,
yeah,
what was the primary objective of the project for one?
yeah,
And if it was ISO to implement or support implementation of the ISO
yeah,
for a company of 25,
yeah,
how far did you get through the project?
yeah,
In what time frame?
yeah,
And what was the customer satisfaction at the end?
yeah. I'll give you a snapshot of what I've asked through now. When you say it's a whole lot of documents, I agree that actually it's a whole lot of documents. But then ISO is not really creating documents. It is about understanding what the company is doing in a standardized way, and then just documenting that. For example, what you see here may not be exactly the case for another company, which is trying to handle ISO as a need. But then, if they really wanted to have it in the shop floor, it will not call for a lot of documents. All it calls for is standardized actions being taken every day systematically to have a standard platform built across.
Can I Now I've met you, Viv, through the I'll call it the principles of lean manufacturing,
Yeah.
and it's fundamentally become a almost a way of life, is to support improvement of
Yeah.
businesses
Yeah.
and the way that they go through day-to-day processes,
Yeah.
and it's about simplifying, in effect, simplifying business management with what we understand.
Yeah.
I'll use the word a lot more visualization.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what you're saying in my world of understanding is that if the company's already got systems, the ISO isn't so hard to put in.
Yeah.
But what we're understanding is it's not necessarily the system of what we make, but just as much, if not more importantly, how we do it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So the how we do it in our understanding here again is the part of the ISO you now have to have the continuous improvement, which I
Yeah.
notice here on, so we've got that embedded into our culture
Yeah.
through the ISO.
Yeah.
But we're also, with our get things right at the start, we would actually try and identify the process, whether there's opportunity to improve the process
Exactly.
before we actually created a process document
Yeah.
above the process.
Yeah.
So we don't make the company driven by the document.
No.
We try and overlay the document with the way the company does it very well
Already.
already.
Yes. Exactly.
Okay.
So yeah, got it really right, Anthony. The only important thing what I wanted to highlight here is that let's actually take away the misconception of ISO being a document-driven process. It is a process-driven process. That is, a company handles process in its own way, and we are standardizing that as a document, and only a standardized platform can give us way to improve the things.
Okay. So can I just go, just sort of having a quick float, or just a very quick
Yeah.
macro look above
Yeah.
the amount of standard documents that you've got here
Yeah.
in association. So
Yeah.
I'll just at a random
Yeah.
level.
Each one of these whatever we are opening now is the hands and legs. What I'm talking is a skeleton of what we really do for an ISO system. So it's all about making the structure embedded into the culture.
Yes. Now I understand that there's a lot of documentation here, a lot of documents. I imagine, Viv, that it would actually be quite labour intensive to maintain effectively. Am I right or wrong to assume that?
When you say it is labor intensive, it is partially right, but I can say it is partially wrong because once you have this system built, or during the initial phase of building the system, it is labor intensive. It needs time and effort to put the systems across into a beautiful structure. But then that is where the difference of people with a lean background come from, because they know what is ISO, they know what is lean is about. So if you can maintain ISO with the efficient manner possible, if you can actually make it visual enough, if you can take the concepts of ISO to implement in the shop floor visually, then then that's the best portion of having a person who has lean manufacturing background and who knows about ISO, how to implement it.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't make the people to work hard to maintain ISO, but rather the people of such backgrounds, they create ISO to drive the continuous improvement program in the more simplistic manner possible.
If I come from if I was coming from a shop floor background,
Yeah.
and I sort of wanted, if I fundamentally knew that this was working very, very well for me as a business process, or as a flow on the floor,
Yeah.
the ISO paper trail, if I can call it that, over the top, would be following the steps. However, if there was an incident or a mistake or some perspective,
Yeah.
we should be able to go back to our documentation and identify
Yeah.
why the process broke, where the issue was caused, and what to do about it. And that would be seen as part of the constant improvement
Yeah.
of our ISO
Exactly.
document. Okay.
Yeah.
So I just want to reiterate that we're not in my shop floor mindset
Yeah.
versus my office mindset.
Yeah.
we're not creating the office environment
No,
first,
no.
we're overlaying the workshop floor first.
Yeah, exactly.
So we really, in our lean world now, we understand
Yeah.
that really we're driving from the floor
Yeah.
and what creates real value.
Yeah.
And we're with the lean journey,
Yeah.
we're smartening it as best we can
Yeah.
before we do a lot of labour intensive documentation.
Exactly.
Thanks, Viv.
Just to give a small example and quickly to cut it short, if you have a production plan running a shop floor today, and if the production plan is just paper-based production plan, now if we have to start ISO with that kind of a shop floor, how to say, with that kind of a shop floor atmosphere now, with our background we just come and see if the production plan can be visually driven and whether it will impact the day-to-day activities, or whether it can translate the language of management to the shop floor people without any hurdles, and if it can create a flow. Now the production plan will be converted into a visual control system, and that visual control system will be documented rather than documenting an unnecessary wasteful process.
Okay. Alright, Viv, look, understanding that we've been on this video now for a few moments, and I really appreciate your time. I'd probably like to do another one of these and just sort of try and get a deeper understanding on a more micro level as we look through some of the documents and how you've gone about creating some of that documentation on a specific topic. Yeah.
Understand, Anthony? So we'll very well do that. So is that all for this video?
That'd be great. Thanks, Viv.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thanks,
very much.
Anthony.